Hello there, fellow humans, and welcome to this new little series experiment called, let's call it Roast My Replay, because I'm going to have a look at your replays and then, first of all, comment on it, and if something funny happens, laugh about it. So, let's go. Don't forget, like and subscribe. And for the first replay, we go to whatever this map is called, in the AMX 50B with Destroyer123_Defender, a very creative name, I must admit. Not. But it is going to be a very nice game, so let's have a look. And I've already looked at these before, so I kind of know what happens, but didn't look at them too hard, so we'll see what we goes. Now, ideally, already what we have is the team is going to the correct side of the map, so well done, everyone on this team. You did an amazing job. You already went to the right side. Now, with the 50... With the 50p... I can't speak anymore, but then again, it is 2 a.m., so there's that. Now, with the 50B, you can keep up with the medium tanks. So that is dead. I'm not gonna do that again. Anyway, with the 50B, you can keep up with the medium tanks. Taking a position like this is pretty useful. However, when there's a 268 coming at you, you kind of want to retreat. So that is pretty well played here, and you keep the 50B out there. Use calibrated on a 50B because you can easily pen that vehicle, very, very easily. No problem there at all. And now, I don't know where that shot went, but yeah, it's Blitz, so they go anywhere. Now, what he's going to do here is actually a pretty good move, and you should do that as well, essentially in a 50B, because the 50B is pretty tall, it's pretty easy to hit, so it is quite easy to also shoot. So what he's doing here, he's pulling away from the front line, and then focusing on the C50M. Not really, because obviously he's behind the house, he's probably not going to come out, but, you know, keeps looking at the 50, and now at this point, he's dead. The house didn't hurt you, mate. You don't need to shoot it. But use the APC up. You're not using as much APCR as I would, really. So that's one thing that I noticed. Maybe a bit more APCR. Depends on if you're free to play. Obviously, then you can't afford to load more. But if you aren't, if you have enough credits left, then I would definitely recommend loading a bit more APCR for when you definitely need it, because you want to have enough. The MX 50B has a massive ammo storage, so you can essentially run as much as you want to. And in Blitz, it doesn't really matter how many shells you use. Like, you have a 3-shot autoloader. Your shells don't have to be a multiple by 3. It literally does not matter. So load whatever you want to, because, you know, it doesn't matter. Now, obviously here at this point, 60TP is going to peek up, shoot. 1.7k HP left, which is still relatively solid. And now we're just going to go for the 60TP here, which is a very nice thing. Now, what you want to do with this vehicle, and what is this doing here very well, is keep out of the fight. Don't be the one that gets mainly shot at. Leave that to your I7s. Leave that to your 60TPs. Leave that to your Mouses. That's the tanks that are there to take the shots. The 50B is not. And 4v4, obviously all of them are relatively low. The object is a one-shot. The 907 goes in and finishes off the E100. So, good job, object, as well. And now, you can kind of see here what happened. The enemy team got surrounded, and they just got completely outplayed, and they did not have any of the control. And now, yeah, I'm not really a big fan of this. Like, you know they're both down there. You can't really do much. They hold down, so I wouldn't have pushed that. Now, in this point, the 60p is on the other side. You can't get out. What's probably going to happen is you're going to get stuck in between here. So again, this is exactly what you don't want with an MX 50B. You don't want to be stuck in the middle. But everything else other than that is pretty much played perfectly. So that is pretty good. Besides, wouldn't have gone as aggressive here, because, you know, what's going to happen? You're going to unload the clip, but now you're stuck between the 60p and the other guys on that side. And there he is! And now you're dead. So, very solid game, but that last part could have been played a slightly bit better. And on to the second one with Neo here. And now you might wonder, how did I get these replays? Well, it's quite simple. Join my Discord server. Link to that is in the description right at the top. Join my Discord server, and there is a channel called Clips. Put your replays there. Ideally also with a battle results screen and a short description of what actually happened and why the replay should be featured, because I can't be bothered to wade through replays for 5 hours of my life because I'm a lazy fucker. So, now let's have a look at this battle in the AMX M4 54. And the problem of this vehicle is that it's big. And that's bad, because obviously that means it is a massive target and can be hit very easily, especially when this vehicle possesses 0 to also 0 side armor, essentially. So the second you turn your turret slightly, it will be very, very easy to be penned. So that is unfortunate. Now, again, doing the right thing here, going to the important side of the map, because the more control you have over the map, the better you'll do. Now, you might have been able to go to the silo and spot from there, but this is a relatively speedy vehicle compared to a mouse, so you can take a position like this relatively easily, and it is going to work out. Now, I like the aggression, man. That's very nice. Now, I did call it a roast to my replays, but so far I don't have anything to roast besides the enemy's glaring incompetence in the last battle. And now, a 57 heavy sitting down there, that's accuracy right there, because Blitz. And now we got a fat one, which is a mouse at 3000 HP. It is very juicy, very, very yummy. And now, he's going to shoot HE, probably, at the Vickers. Now, I do this all the time, but if you want to actually hit your shots, then please use the aim. You know, it is in the game. You can use it. So just like, use it like that. Because if you would have used it, or even if you would have shot AP, he would be dead by now. It would be a lot easier. Now, the Eonhardt is going to go down, obviously, which is not going to help. And the team is comically falling apart at this point, which is not very nice. Now, the advantage here is that that guy down there is dead, and the other one's also dead. It was a one-shot. And now, yeah, that was a bit too fast. Now, one thing about the game is it is easier to aim for 2 seconds and then cause damage than to then have to reload for 12 seconds. So if you can wait for a shot 1 or 2 seconds, do it, because that way you can cause more damage. And obviously 2k damage so far, which is fine. And obviously overall, what you should aim for is to do average, because if you're doing average, you're already doing enough. If you're doing those 1.8k in tier 10, you're already doing enough. You don't have to do more. Now, there is no point to like work yourself up to do an unreasonable amount of damage, you know? I mean, it's a game. It doesn't matter. So, I've got 3000 damage right here, and another important thing, important lesson about this game is try to somewhat preserve your hit points, because in the end of the battle, there is most of the time the least guns on the battlefield, which means that way you can cause the most damage, because your gun is a lot more impactful and you can do a lot more. Like, for example, with that mouse. It's a mouse, and it's now, Neo. I don't know what you're doing here, mate, but you're going below mouse, and the mouse is gonna do that. Yeah, that's. I would have surrendered at this point if I were the AMX. I would have just given up, because this is about the feeling what happens when a cow falls onto you. So don't recommend it. So maybe you could have taken that a bit wider and like, yeah. But as you can see, that's 1.5k damage onto the mouse in the end game there, which brings us from a respectable 2.5k to a somewhat excellent 4k, which is very nice. And now, the display of the stupid, and that is with Diego, who's an amazing moderator and an even cooler guy. So now, beginningly, he's obviously telling his team to go to the correct side. Now, unfortunately, the difference between this replay and the other two is that this is the NA server, and the NA server is about as intelligent as a cantaloupe. So that is not going to happen. Heavies are going to the heavy side, and that is, well, it can work if you pull it off and if you are experienced and coordinated, but you're not. So it is better to stick together and to play the correct, like the better side of the map, the more open side of the map, because that way you can take more control over the game and you can win more. It is that simple. Right? Now, the entire enemy team is over there, which is ideal. Not really, because now that tiger is dead, which to the surprise of no one. I mean, if you did see him, he doesn't have a camo, so probably also no brain. That's one of the very easy indicators, by the way. If you see someone without a camo or something like that, those, or with an emoji avatar, you know, those tend to be kids and those tend to be bad. So that's just indicators of how you. I mean, the thing is, on my second account, I'm using an emoji avatar on purpose. I mean, I'm doing 4.5k average there. I don't know how, but it's working, it seems. Not that it matters, but anyway. Just to illustrate that it can be a false promise as well, but most of the time, those kind of things tend to be not great. Now, 2 of them are already dead. The Steyr and the Tiger are dead. Now, I can see the outline of what tank it is. I have no idea, because yeah, that's the... If you get to that point of where you know a lot of things about the battle, where you exactly know what tank it is by the outline, at that point, first of all, you've played too much, and you're probably at a state of... There is no team damage, by the way. You don't have to shoot down the Leo. So, you know, but that's like... Why do people do that? You know, just drive into your shot. That's not cool, but... You know, the more you know, the better you will be. It's that simple. Now, Cockroach is molesting the AT-15, and rightfully so, because the AT-15 is very annoying. Well, AT-15A, but same thing. And now, this is gonna get interesting. 4 versus 5, and this is the NA server, mind you, so stupid is going to happen. And it is going to happen very soon. Now, Diego here is a pretty good player. Not amazing, but very good. And now... That's what I said earlier about aiming, right? Like, just aim. Because now you gotta reload. Could have gotten another shot. Guy could be dead by now. Now, you're down by 2 people. You're gonna be down by 3 people. And you're gonna be down by 4 people, because the guy behind is also quite low HP. Now, as 5, you can't cuddle with a 54A2. It is quite heavy, and you're going to die. Now, D25, yeah, not doing a great job. But now... What Diego's doing here is an absolute amazing job of angling his armor towards whichever one currently has a shot. Because if you know who is loaded and who isn't, you can bounce the shot of that person. Now again, absolutely amazing overview here. Knows all the 3 guys are behind him. You know, you always want to have the enemies in front of you. You never want to have the enemies behind you, you know? And now back off. Exactly, just like that, back off. The SU is going to shoot HE, and the SU is also the biggest threat at this moment, because obviously if you give the rear to the SU, it can cause 1,000 damage. So finish off the SU. It's also the easiest one to finish off, and boom, there you go. Now you can essentially use the SU wreck here to shield yourself from the E25, and the E25 now has to go around. Keep a look at the E25. Perfectly done. Now this is, you see, if you watch my videos, you get a good player. You're very evident in these 3 replays, right? If you watch certain other YouTubers, you're gonna end up with no win rate. Like, literally negative win rate, probably. But there are a lot of good ones, though. A lot of good Blitz YouTubers. But there are a couple that I would rather bleach my eyes daily than ever conversate with them about anything. So, with that said, very well played, very good replays. Not much to roast so far, however... For the next episode, send me your worst that you have.